Yo, check out this dope segment from the Pre-Patch podcast. Hope you enjoy it. We're gonna ditch the Twitch news and switch to the Kick news, which I don't even like talking about. So that was a good transition. I'm
That was
happy.
a good transition.
I'm happy with my transition. All right.
I want it to be known, by the way. You say you don't like talking about it, but you're the whole reason we started.
I got it, but I'm also trying to be the reason we end it. Like, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Fair enough. The redemption arc will be completed soon.
Anyway, so Nickmercs went over to Kick last week. I believe during TwitchCon. He announced that he was moving to Kick. And now there has been a lot of comments that has been made, accusations, whatever you may be, around Nick per se, and what is in his contract and outside of his contract. I will say, right, I myself have to kind of step back from this because of, this is a not necessarily a conflict of interest, but there is just a
it's not. I wouldn't say it's a conflict of interest. He came out and said on his stream that he confirmed that he's going to be doing
no.
gambling.
I understand he's going to be doing gambling. I'm saying that I work for a company that is involved with Nick, right? So all I'm saying is that it's a at the end of the day, I think it comes down to, because people what's in until we see the contract, what it is, because there are things that he said that were also, some people said it's not true.
Yeah, so the thing that popped up, so he gets his Kick deal, he does his first Kick live stream or whatnot. Chad asked if he's going to be gambling. He's like, yeah, it's in the contract. XQC is like, he's being disingenuous. This is not he's not giving you the full picture of things. I don't know why he's saying the things that he's saying. XQC does his XQC thing where you only understand 10% of what he says, right?
Kick streaming.
You know what I'm saying, Chad? You know what I'm saying? So seeing through all the fog and stuff, he signed 2 contracts. One was with Kick itself, and then he did sign a stake contract. He asked for a stake contract to coincide with his Kick contract. The Kick contract does not have gambling. The stake one does. He also apparently has a out of the US location where he will be doing the gambling streams, because obviously stake gambling is not allowed within the US. So that's basically it as far as this time goes. Why he asked for a stake contract and a Kick contract, only Nick knows that right now, and stake, but it is a little bit weird that he painted it in a light that made it seem like the Kick contract itself was to include gambling, because that's been one of the biggest criticisms for the site. And being one of the newest representatives of the site, you would think they would want to distance themselves, especially if what XQC is saying with Kick trying to go the normie route, as he put it.
Well, Kick, one of Kick's I know it's not Eddie, it's somebody else that's very high up in their leadership, responded and said, this is not a Kick, this is not part of the Kick contract. I do think that Kick is kind of hey man, if you're going to say this, at least get it right, with what you're saying, because it is disingenuous, whether Nick meant for it to come out that way or not. It is that is the case. He said, it's part of the Kick deal. It's not part of the Kick deal. It's part of stake or whatever else. But we don't know the contracts, because we don't see the contracts, right? We don't get to see them. So until we see those contracts, or there is 100%, I don't know. I just, either way, it's just kind of I think we all knew, anybody that's going over to Kick that is getting on a paid contract, I think we firmly believe they're going to do gambling.
Yeah.
Or it's incentivized at least.
And I am curious if Kick or Nick were the ones, because that's where the gray area is with this whole situation. We don't know who proposed to who with the stake deal, whether it was Kick partnering the Kick deal with a stake deal, or if Nickmercs in his back and forth with Kick opted into a stake deal to get them over onto the platform. I don't know, and
Right.
we're not gonna know until
Yeah.
either stake or Nick share a contract.
Right. So that's it. I mean, outside of that, I mean, there were some other things that were said, which are along the lines of, they did cause some controversy, and it was in regards to his Twitch deal, right, where he was like, Twitch, kept all of my subs, and Twitch, I got paid a minimum guarantee, and all of these kind of things, and it sparked a huge kind of like discussion with it, around being like, well, look, you chose to take that versus taking the, you could have taken a sub, deal, and you would have gotten paid your sub, your subs on top of your paid amount. I mean, myself and Enigma have said this before. I don't know whether it's on the show or just in general talking to one another, but I fully expect that even like the Kick first class stuff or whatever else, that eventually that will become a normal thing of saying, hey, if we're gonna pay you a shit ton of money, like we are gonna get recouped that by your
So
subs.
we're getting all the subs.
Right.
Yeah.
Read your damn contracts. He knew what
Yeah.
that contract was gonna entail when he signed it. It's not something he can blame Twitch for because he was the one who signed the fucking paper. Like be pissy about that kind of stuff is a little bit odd to me when you knew exactly what you were getting yourself into.
Well, the thing that I don't like is the fact that it was like, I do agree with people saying that it like, this was not made known to the people that were throwing these subs, right? So people that were, normal behavior around subbing to a creator is that you sub because you want to support them, right? Like or like you like their content, you want to back them, like, like this industry, what we do and allowing for open subs, like it is like a thing of being like it's a generosity thing. Like you're giving money, your hard earned money over to somebody because it's entertainment, right? We have a loyal community member here that donates to us almost every single month, right? And their answer is like, hey, you're cheaper and better than TV. That's their reason for donating, right? But if it was I want to know how they would feel, or how you guys would feel. And again, post it in the comments below. We want to know, how would you feel as a viewer knowing that that money that you are donating or giving is not coming to us, that we are not, and we know it, but we are not saying it to you, right? Like it feels very shady and disingenuous, personally. That,
for sure. It's an interesting, I don't know, man. I think it's just a bunch of I mean, I'm gonna go into the old timey shit. It's a bunch of hoopla, and I think it's just a bunch of fucking drama.
Yeah,
he's just trying to stir the pot at this point, in my opinion.
Maybe Twitch, maybe it was in the contract that Twitch couldn't, that you were not allowed to say it. Maybe that's part of the contract, and if that is, then that's bad on Twitch.
Possible, yeah.
Right?
Read your contracts, though, people. Come on.
So yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no way that I would see a money, like taking a money guarantee versus, if I'm a larger creator like someone like Nick, over the sub revenue, because you can sit there and figure out like, hey, even if it's a 70-30 split, 70-30, going 30% you getting out of a $5 sub is still, we'll sit here, we'll do the math right now. What does that come out to? So $5 divided by 30, that's what, I should be good at this, and I'm not. What is 30%?
Do math, bro. Do math, bro.
0.30 times 5. So it's $1.50, right? If you're on the 70-30 split, which is Twitch takes 70%, right? Or do you get 70%? No, Twitch takes 70.
Twitch takes
50.
70, I believe. No.
Which one are they on? It's 70, right? Twitch takes 70.
It's 50-50 right now. Unless you're on the 70-30 split, and then you take 70 and Twitch takes 30.
On average, usually, let's just say that he gets 75 or 50,000 subs a month. You're still looking at $75,000, right? A month that you're kind of throwing away. I don't know. So like Bill said, read your contracts, and understand what you're signing, what you're doing.
Then don't
And-
be pissy about it. Unless they change the contract on you, you know full well what you're signing into. You can't be pissy about it.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have signed it in the beginning.
And I don't like the whole thing of where it's like he goes on and then this first thing that he says is, is talking about this. And it's just like, well, I get, Kick gives me 95.5, right? I get 95% of my subs and all this other kind of stuff. It's like, dude, you're like, you know what you're doing. Like, and again, what does Kick do? They use it as, their own, way to just, that's their marketing, right? They don't talk about like, what they're doing to better the industry in whatever way that Kick may better the industry. They use the whole, we're gonna meme on Twitch. So it just,
that's what they're good at. That's what they're best at, personally. That's what I think, at least.
So there you go. Thanks for checking out the patch notes. And if you enjoyed yourself, make sure you stop by when we do this live every Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and Twitch. Or if you missed on the show, you can always go to anchor.fm/prepatch podcast or any of your podcast apps. Thanks.